All right, so this is my first impressions of this PDF army for the old world. I did record one for each and every one of the armies that are coming out that are going to be labeled a legacy. Now, if you don't want to wait for them to come out, because I'm going to put them out every couple of days or so, they're all behind the members-only paywall if you want to just watch them all right now. Otherwise, they will be out for you real soon. Moving on to Dark Elves. Okay, my darker kin, my cousins that are evil, as a high elf player. Though I do own a pretty nice, well-sized Dark Elf army. We'll be playing plenty of these in the old world. So for characters or grand army composition, we have a 0-1 Dark Elf Dreadlord or Supreme Sorceress per 1,000 points. Otherwise, 0-1 Cauldron of Blood per 1,000 points may be taken as a mount for a Death Hag. And your core are Dark Elf Warriors, Reaper Crossbowmen, Black Arc Corsairs, and Dark Riders. No real stipulations on any of those, except for if your army includes one or more Death Hags, 0-1 unit of Witch Elves may be taken as core. Everything else is where you're expected. Warriors of Chaos and Demons of Chaos are uneasy allies. Let's see. Do we have to read any special rules first? Yes, okay. We have to learn about Murder, Strike, and Eternal Hatred before we actually get into all these units. So we're going to scroll right to the bottom of this thing. Well, actually, Elven Reflexes. We've already talked about that in the High Elf and Wood Elf review, our first impressions. We'll do it again here in case this is your first one. So the Elven Reflexes are a model of this special rule, but not its mount, has a +1 modifier to its initiative characteristics during the first round of any combat. That is important to remember due to like elves basically having their initiative reduced by 1 from what we're used to in previous editions. Though it does work out quite well. I'll get to why I still kind of like it when I get to the low level, sorry, the low initiative models, which are like the basic core troops, which are initiative 4, but still pretty good. We have Eternal Hatred. Against High Elves, this model hatred applies to every round of combat. So hatred is the first round of combat you reroll your failed to hit. When Dark Elves are playing High Elves, they hate them so much that every round of combat they reroll the hit. Now, I'm not sure right now if every model in the unit will have every model in the army will have Eternal Hatred. We'll find out who has Eternal Hatred. Historically, it was only the Black Guard, and this is my first time going through this document, so we'll see if everybody has it. Martial Prowess is a rule I'm pretty confident will be along many units. It is a unit with this special rule may make supporting attacks to its flank and rear. So we've seen that with the High Elves and actually the Wood Elves as well. So Spears, for example, can make supporting attacks, but that's additional rank of guys fighting, but only in the front. With the Martial Prowess special rule, you can do a 360. And then Murderous. When engaged in combat, a model with this special rule that is fighting with a hand weapon may reroll wounds of 1. Ugh. Okay, well, elves aren't known for natural strength on their units, so that's probably not going to be great. So Dark Elf Nobles, we have a Dreadlord at 130 points and the Master for 70 points. So we're talking about the Dreadlord. The Dreadlord is movement 5, weapon skill, ballistic skill 7, strength 4, toughness 3, because, we're elves. 3 wounds, initiative 6, 4 attacks, and leadership 10. Now, Eternal Hatred, so against High Elves. Oh, weird. It has Eternal Hatred and Hatred High Elves. So you have to have Hatred High Elves for Eternal Hatred to work, I guess. So against High Elves, rerolling every turn. Murderous Strike. Oh, sorry, Murderous. It's called Murderous this edition. So if he's using a hand weapon, which you're never going to do, ever, you reroll 1s to wound. I guess I shouldn't say never. You always have a hand weapon, thus you always have the option of using it. Maybe if you're fighting a unit with a really low toughness and they have no armor save, you pull out your hand weapon instead of your probably great weapon you're going to buy if you don't buy a magic weapon and chop them down. All right, we have strikes first on the Dark Elf Noble. Now, I'm going to point out this is only going to be on the Dreadlord. Well, sorry, the Dreadlord and the Master, only on the fighting characters. The army as a whole does not have strike first. I haven't read that yet, but I'm positive because that's what happened to the High Elves and it makes sense. So, strikes first. You can buy just a great weapon for 4 points, 134 points for a Dark Elf Dreadlord. You have strikes first and strikes last. They cancel each other out. So you have a great weapon that's initiative 6, He does not gain the Elven, what's it called? Elven Reflexes special rule, because he gets strikes first instead. But either way, your initiative 6 with a great weapon, modified by your charge bonuses. Not bad at all. Great weapon's a very good weapon for a Dark Elf Dreadlord. Made by a Sea Dragon Cloak for 4 points. A Sea Dragon Cloak, I just read it when I was reading the special rules. It gives you +1 to your armor save against non-magical attacks. And this guy may buy full plate armor for 6 points. So full plate armor gives you 4-up armor save. If you want to buy a shield, you have a 3-up armor save. If you want to buy a shield and a Sea Dragon Cloak, you have a 2-up armor save on foot. But only a 3-up armor save against magical weapons. It's a little less against magical weapons, but still probably worth it. So buy a nice magic weapon, and that's going to be a pretty sweet character. Maybe a ward save. You probably don't even need the ward save in this edition. Or just buy the great weapon and wear that full plate armor, and then maybe buy a ward save or something. But either way, this guy is going to be probably a character that I would use, so we probably will definitely see this guy on the field. It's been a while since we've seen a Dreadlord on the table, in my experience anyway. We have the Dark Elf Sorceresses. It's 150 points for level 3, 75 points for level 2. Stats for level 3 are Weapon Skill with Skill 4, Strength, Toughness, and Wounds 3, 5 Initiative, 2 Attacks, and Leadership 8. Just like every other army, 30 points to make you level 3. Pay 30 points to make you level 3, level 4. Pay 30 points to make you level 1, level 2. 100 points of magic items, all basic stuff. Okay, so what we really want to know is what lores of magic can this guy or lady take? Battle magic, obviously. Demonology, dark magic, elementalism, and illusion. Able to use 5 of the 8. Nice. Eternal Hatred, Hecatari's Blessing, and Lore of Nagaron. Murderous, obviously. So Hecatari's Blessing? Hecarti. Hecarti's Blessing. That I read that is a re-roll 1 failed casting attempt a turn, which is an awesome rule. And then the Lore of Nagaroth. So we're going to go check out the signature spells, and I'll just reiterate this. So when you pick your lore to cast from, say you choose Demonology, if you're a level 4 sorceress, you roll 4d6. You take those 4 spells that correspond to the 4 dice you rolled, and then you may choose one of those spells that you have rolled for and swap it out for a signature spell. So if you chose Demonology, you can swap 1 spell for the signature from Demonology, or 1 spell from the Lore of Nagaroth. So the Lore of Nagaroth are all signature spells. We got 2 of them. Cursing Word and Black Horror. So Cursing Word is a hex with a casting value of 9 and range of 12 as it remains in play. While this spell is in play, the target enemy unit reduces their weapon skill characteristic or its ballistic skill characteristic chosen by the wizard by 1. Or 2-1. Reduce their weapon skill or ballistic skill to 1. If this spell is cast, the effects of any previous hex on the unit immediately expire. It remains in play. But because it doesn't specifically say so, you may not cast this on a unit already in combat. So you cannot target units in combat with spells, but many of these hexes say this spell can target. This one does not say that. So no targeting things already in combat. So that's not... I wish it could. Makes it a little bit less valuable to me. Otherwise, it's actually pretty good. Cast on something, go on in. There's a casting value of 9, which is not that bad, and only range 12, which is kind of, typical for a lot of spells in this edition. The Black Horror is a magical vortex with a casting value of 9 and a range of 18. This is officially, the best of my recollection, the first magical vortex with a range that's larger than 15. 18-inch range. Remains in play. Large blast, 5-inch template. Make sure the center hole is placed within 18 of the caster. Remember, you cannot place the templates from vortexes touching enemy models, or any models actually. The template is treated like dangerous terrain. The template moves 2d6 in a random direction in every start of turn subphase. Any enemy unit the moving template touches or moves across immediately makes a d6. Must immediately make a d6 strength tests. For each test failed, the unit loses a single wound. I like it. Trying to decide if I like it or not. So due to the nature of magical vortex, your opponent's going to get a couple of... No, they won't get a couple of turns to dispel it. So you cast it, they get a chance to dispel it right then and there. If not, it gets placed. Counts as dangerous terrain, which is kind of awesome. It's going to scatter pretty far, and it's a large template. But more importantly, you could roll... Well, you can roll D6 strength tests for a war machine. Monster. No, monster's probably going to pass every one of those strength tests more often than not. Maybe a lone character got hit by this. Wizard left the unit. It's casting all by him or herself. D6 strength test or take a wound. This is probably, I'm going to say, now this is tainted by taste, but this looks like the most powerful vortex we've seen, or in my opinion. This is my favorite vortex. Okay, that's the Sorceresses. How does one pronounce such words? All right, we have the High Elf Beastmaster. Weapon skill with skill 7. Oh, this guy is almost the Lord-like stat. Oh, no, he's a noble stat. With good weapon skill plus skill. Strength 4, toughness 3, initiative 5, 3 attacks, leadership 9, but he's 75 points. Base size is... Oh, interesting, as mount. So this guy must be mounted, probably. Eternal Hatred, Goad Beast, and Murderous. This guy also has First Strike. So Goad Beast. During the command subphase of the turn, this character may goad a single friendly model whose troop type is monster and is within the command range of this guy. So his command range is 9 inches. And it can also goad their own mount. Until the end of the turn, the model gains a D3 modifier to its characteristics to a maximum of 10. That's pretty decent. So, must be mounted on either a Scourge Runner Chariot or a Manticore. We'll read those when we get to them. This guy seems pretty cool. Can I tell you this? If I were to rank my top 5 all-time miniatures from Games Workshop ever, number 1 is probably going to be Ungrim Iron Fist, that sweet, sweet Dwarf Slayer King. The old Anvil of Doom is up there in the top 5, but the metal Dark Elf Beastmaster on Manticore is in my top 5 for sure. I freaking love this model. I've never been able to get my hands on it. We had Death Hag. This is a 75-point character. Weapon skill 6, strength 4, toughness 3, 2 wounds, initiative 7, 3 attacks, leadership 8. Loner, murderous, poison attack, strikes. Oh, another model with strikes first. Interesting. High Elves had one character or one group of characters strikes first. So far we have 3 over here. The Dark Kin are a little faster. We can take Gifts of Khaine. Oh, sorry. You can buy Warcry, Runes of Khaine, or Witch Brew. Oh, wait. I'm dyslexic. You can't buy Warcry. You can buy Cry of War. It's a special rule here for, they're called Gifts of Khaine. Cry of War is 15-point upgrade. Every enemy unit suffers -1 to their leadership characteristics while within the command range of 1 more Death Hags. What? So long as the Death Hag's not fleeing. So while you're within 8 inches of a Death Hag, you're -1 leadership. If you don't already know how powerful that is, let me just give you a refresher. This is going to be your first video. Effectively, if you've played other editions of Warhammer, every unit in the game nowadays is kind of stubborn in a roundabout way. Sorry, stubborn in its context of the older editions. I guess a better word to use would be steadfast. You must roll higher than your leadership to actually break from combat. Now, there are other stipulations that, like being vastly outnumbered. But having a -1 to their leadership means even dwarves, from leadership 9 for the lowliest dwarf goes leadership 8. Much easier for them to run away. So that's really cool. So Cry of War, really cool. You can buy Rune of Khaine for 10 points. This character has the extra attacks D3 special rule, and you can buy Witch Brew for 20 points. This character, their mount, any unit they have joined cannot lose the Frenzy special rule. Okay, I'm not a big fan of Frenzy. Oh, this model has Frenzy. Frenzy forces you to charge. You have to charge, you have Frenzy. May take one of the following gifts. Okay, so you only buy one of the 3. D3 extra, no, I think I would take Cry of War every time, but maybe I gotta play some and find out. I didn't have to check, but yeah. Okay, so Khaine Assassin is next. I'm like, oh, this guy must have strikes first. Yeah, he does as well. He can hide in units. He's immune to psychology, murderous, eternal hatred, hatred tiles, but yeah. Can buy, okay, so 80 points, weapon skill 8, ballistic skill 7, strength 4, toughness 3, 2 wounds, initiative 7, 3 attacks, leadership 8, I think I said that. Comes with a hand weapon and throwing weapons. Can buy black, I'll go over those in a second. So you can hide him in a unit and pop out and attack enemy units when they get in base contact with you. I believe you can reveal your assassin not only when the unit gets, in contact with the enemy, but you can also reveal your assassin in your command phase, or sorry, start of turn sub phase. So you return them, you can reveal them in the start of turn sub phase. I don't know if you ever want to, but comment below if you can think of a reason to want to reveal your assassin in your start of turn sub phase. Oh, because then you can have them run out of the unit. So you reveal them in your start of turn sub phase. When you get to your movement phase, you can then run them out. That makes sense. Okay, never mind. In case you want your assassin to leave the unit he's hiding in. Oh, wow, that's really good. All right, I dig that. I dig that. Forbidden poisons. So for 5 points, you can buy Black Lotus. Each unsaved wound inflicted by... unsaved wound inflicted upon them by this character suffers a -1 to their leadership characteristics for the remainder of the game. No. At first reading, that's amazing, but any character you're hitting is going to do one of two things. Die, thus you're taking all their leadership away. Or they're making their saves, and you're not killing like a high level, like a very defensive character, so no, okay. Not useless though, it's only 5 points. If you have 5 points to spend it on this. Next we have Dark Venom for 15 points. The character has the Killing Blow special rule. That remember, against infantry and heavy and light cav, 6 to wound, just no armor save, kills the model outright. No regeneration either. You get your ward saves, but kills the model outright. It's not a bad one. And then Manbane is also 15 points. When this character makes a roll to wound, a roll of 4+ is always successful regardless of toughness. It doesn't say against you. That works against monsters. I wonder if Manbane is the best one. You only have one of these poisons. So let's keep that in mind when we talk about magic weapons a little later on. I haven't seen them yet, but maybe we find a nice combo for an assassin who can take, I'm going to assume 50 points of magic weapons or items. Yep, 50 points. All right, character mounts. We're going to go over those when we get to them. Dark Elf Steeds. We don't have to talk about those. They're just a horse. Cold ones are their chompy chomp dinosaur mounts. They're heavy cav. They are... Oh, they give you +1 toughness, so the models riding the cold one... it's called just a cold one. A character riding a cold one mount is going to be toughness 4. It gives you 2 strength 4, weapon skill 3 attacks with armor bane 1. Oh, increases your armor save by 1. Basically has armored hide 1, which is effectively, it has barding. Fear. First charge. So first charge you make of the game, you disrupt the enemy. Swift stride, obviously, and stupidity. So you gotta make stupidity checks at the start of your turn. Dark Pegasus, the 35 point. Interesting. The Dark Pegasus does not increase your toughness. It just gives you +1 wound for 35 points. And obviously, fly 10, counter charge, first charge, and 3 strength 4 attacks that are armor bane 1. But a wizard running around on a Dark Pegasus is only toughness 3. Okay. The first unit to talk about, the Dark Elf City Guard. Well, sorry, Dark Elf Warriors and Crossbowmen are listed under City Guard. So let's talk about the Dark Elf Warrior. 8 points a model. Not that much more than a human. I think a human is like 5 or 6. I think it's 6. Movement 5, weapon skill, bliss skill 4, score. Those are all good stats. Strength, toughness 3, 1 wound, initiative 4, so 1 more than your average man, 1 attack, leadership 8, which is again 1 more than your average man. They come with hand weapons, light armor, and shields. Interesting. Can we not buy cross? Oh, there we go. It's a weird spot. They may buy thrusting spears for 1 point a model, which I think you should do all the time. Always buy spears. So spears, when you're charged in the front, give you +1 initiative. The Elven Reflexes special rule they have give you +1 initiative in the first round of combat. So when a unit of spears charges, they're only going to fight in one rank, obviously, but they're probably going to get 3 inches of movement, taking them to initiative 7, and then +1 for Elven Reflexes, initiative 8 when they charge. But more importantly, when they get charged, and keep in mind, this also includes if you fall back in good order and they follow up, which counts as them charging you again, you're going to get all these bonuses again. If you give ground 2 inches and they choose not to follow up because they're going to go next and they're going to charge you again 2 inches, you're going to get all these bonuses again. So initiative 4, +1 if you have spears and you get charged in the front, +1 for Elven Reflexes. So these things getting charged in the front are initiative 6, which means basic human charging them fights at same initiative as them. Dwarves charging them will get lower initiative than a basic elf, which kind of makes sense. Elves are going to swing first. Now, elves are strength 3, dwarves are going to be toughness 4. It's still going to be probably skewed in favor of the dwarves, but that speed does come into effect pretty well for the elves in this game, I think. Now you're gonna make better use of initiative on your more elite units. We'll get to those when we get to those. So yeah, City Guard, Dark Elf Warriors, 9 points a model effectively because you want to buy those spears every time. 0 to 1 unit in your army per 1,000 points, made by veterans for 1 point per model, and have a banner with 50 points. They are closed order. They have martial prowess, so supporting attacks 360. And Hatred Hiles, obviously. Now, the other unit under Dark Elf City Guard are the Crossbowmen. Same stats, 11 points a model, but they come with a Reaper crossbow and light armor. They may buy shields for 1 point. Make them 12 points to have light armor and shields. I probably would. Let's go find out what a Reaper crossbow does. And with the magic of editing, nobody will know how long it took me to find the fact that the repeater crossbow is actually in the core rulebook and not in the document. So a repeater crossbow is 24-inch range, strength 3, armor bane 1, and multiple shots 2. Just as we all expected who done been a Dark Elf player in the past, is the proper way of saying that in the language of English. Scrolling back. City Guard looking sweet. 12 points a model for the crossbowmen with shields is probably pretty worth. Black Arc Corsairs are next. Regular infantry, they come with hand weapon, light armor. They have the same stats as your typical elf. They're 11 points a model base. They may take repeater hand bows for free or an additional hand weapon for free. They have Elven Reflexes, Hatred, blah, blah, blah. Open order, move through cover. And the Sea Dragon Cloak. So they have a 5-up armor against things that aren't magical. Otherwise, it's 6-up armor. And the Repeater Handbow is 12-inch range, multiple shots 2, and quick shot, which means you can ignore the penalty for moving and shooting, and you can always stand and shoot. I don't know which way you want to model them. I actually have a squad of 20 of them in my collection with additional hand weapons, and I have 10 more with Reaper hand bows. So I think it's probably a solid start. I'll use both. See what I end up really liking. Here we go. Black Guard of Nagrand. So I'm going to back up a second. So Dark Elf Warriors, the City Guard, the Warriors and stuff, have Hatred Hiles. Corsairs have Hatred Hiles. Black Guard of Nagrand have Hatred Hiles and Eternal Hatred, so their hatred lasts forever. 15 points per model. Elven stats, however, they are Weapon Skill 5, Initiative 5, and Leadership 9. They have the Dread Halberd and full plate armor. Now, 15 points a model. These things better carry. Close Order, Elven Reflexes, Eternal Hatred Hiles, Immune Psychology, Martial Prowess, and Stubborn. Armor Bane 1, Fight an Extra rank. Oh, sorry, this is the Dread Halberd. Oh, okay, so the Dread Halberd is a halberd that can fight in additional ranks with the same stipulations as a spear. So if you charge, you don't fight additional ranks. Otherwise, it's a halberd that fights in additional ranks. So that worth 15 points. Full plate armor gives you 4-up save. Their halberds are going to give them strength 4, AP 1, armor bane 1. Fighting 2 ranks if you get charged. Can support 360. It seems to be a unit you want to take the charge when Dark Elves want to be aggressive, right? I don't know if I like or dislike the Blackguard. With Weapon Skill 5, Initiative amazing, Strength 4, AP 1, they're going to get work done. Well, they're also going to lose a lot of models, and they're 15 points apiece. This unit is going to take some playtesting. They're probably not trash, but they're probably not amazing either. They're probably just fine. And I guess, you know what, to be fair, it's fine for a unit to be fine. I just never wanted the Blackguard to be a unit that's just fine. For some reason, Dark Elves are never going to be a main army of mine, one of the armies I own, but I always wanted the Blackguard to be, just a little more special than they are. Because the next unit, I'm going to assume, is going to just outpace them like they've done in every other edition. This is pure prediction. I haven't read this yet. So the Harganeth Executioners are also 15 points a model. They have the exact same stats. Close Order, Elven Reflexes, Hatred Hiles, Murderous, and they come with a Veteran built in. So basically reroll Fear, Terror, and Panic, essentially. They have the Harganeth Greatsword, which is, this is just a better unit. Oh, sorry. The Executioners have the same stats as the Blackguard, except for the Executioners have Strength 4 instead of Strength 3. And their weapon is Strength +2, so they're Strength 6. It's AP 1 and Cleaving Blow. Cleaving Blow is effectively Killing Blow. All the same rules, except for it doesn't kill the model outright. It just takes 1 wound off. It ignores the armor and all that kind of stuff. And requires 2 hands. But they fight at initiative. So Strength 6 AP 1 at initiative in 1 rank, or Strength 4 AP 1 with the Blackguard in multiple ranks so long as you didn't charge. So the Executioners are just a little more aggressive, but very similar, right? I'm going to have fun figuring the answer out. I expect to see a lot of Executioners on the table and Blackguard. The thing is, a lot of Dark Elf players don't even own Blackguard models. I know a lot of you do, but a lot of people I've met over the years don't even have Blackguard models because they've been pretty trash for a lot of the editions. Dark Elf Shades are also 15 points a model. Movement 5, Weapon Skill 5, Lift Skill 5, Strength Toughness 3, Initiative, I said Initiative 5, 1 wound, 1 attack, Leadership 8. They come with repeater crossbows, may take additional hand weapons, may take great weapons for 2 points. That's a pretty good purchase. They can have 0 to 1 unit in your army. You can buy ambushers for 1 point, chariot runners for 1 point, and veteran for 1 point. They're evasive, move through cover, scouts, and skirmish. Yeah, this squad's good. This squad's going to be good for hunting enemy war machines. I think I'd buy the great weapons and make them 17 points a model and go hunt war machines. Oh, no, then you want to buy... You don't even need to buy ambushers. I think it's going to be mobile enough in the context of the old world. You don't have to buy ambushers, yeah. Because they have scout and skirmish and move through cover. Yeah, no, this is a good squad. I don't have any shades. I got to get some shades. Keep in mind all the things I talk about, the things I don't have. If anybody has any for sale, you just send me an email. Daughters of Khaine. 11 points a model for your basic Elven stat, except for the Initiative 5 instead of Initiative 4. Oh, sorry. Daughters of Khaine has 2 units underneath the heading. That's the Witch Elves and the Sisters of Slaughter. The stats I was talking about was the Witch Elf. They have Close Order, Elven Reflexes, Frenzy, Hatred High Elves, Horde. So they get extra, they can claim 1 more rank bonus than the can for their unit type, which is regular infantry. So they get up to 3 rank bonuses for combat, murderous, and poison attacks. They have 2 hand weapons. 11 points a model? Okay. It's relatively cheap for an elf. So probably not bad. I don't have any yet, and the plastic kit is readily available because the converted over to Age of Sigmar, so they're going to be readily available kits. Actually, a lot of Dark Elves will be readily available, actually, because they're still Age of Sigmar models, right? Yeah, I'm definitely going to buy some Witch Elves to play in the old world. I don't think they're a necessity for your army, but they look pretty decent. I know somebody's already making a comment. Oh, yeah, that's what I want to hear. They're decent. You don't want anything to be overpowered. All we want is things to be not underpowered. And they don't look underpowered. Sisters of Slaughter are 17 points a model. They have the same stats as a basic elf with, nope, they have different stats. I'll start from the beginning instead of saying all the differences. They're movement 5, weapon skill 5, which is a big deal. Ballistic skill 4, strength and toughness 3, and 1 wound. Initiative 6, 2 attacks apiece, and leadership 9. They come with hand weapons and a lash and a buckler. They have the special rule called Dance of Death. We'll get to that. Elven reflexes, hate high elves. Oh, they're impetuous. 17 points a model and they're impetuous. Loner, murderous, and open order. All right, Dance of Death. If this unit makes a successful charge, the charge target suffers a -1 modifier to its maximum rank bonus until the end of the combat phase of that turn. The lash and buckler weapon is actually, it's a combo. Okay, so they have a hand weapon and a lash and buckler. The lash and buckler is strength user, which is strength 3. Yeah, strength 3. AP 1, armor bane 1, fight in extra ranks and requires 2 hands. And it gives you +1 to your armor save, but they don't have any armor. So 6 of armor save. It gives you AP. Fight in extra ranks, but all the time. That's pretty good. 17 points a model, though. I know my buddy Nico's got some. He'll bring some in. We'll find out if these are any good. If they are 17 points. If they were cheaper, they'd be too dang good. They're going to get shot to death, but this is Warhammer. We get in a lot of combat in the old world. They're going to do combat fine. And it matters not if you have no armor, if you kill your opponent first. They're a lot faster than everything else in the game, pretty much. And they're only strength 3, but they're AP 1 with armor bane 1. And they can get a lot of attacks, and they can basically get 11 attacks at weapon skill 5. You know what? This squad might be pretty good. Interesting. All right, Harpies are back in the game. 11 points a model. Fly 10, move through cover, scout, skirmisher, swift stride. Auto includes. Bring them every time. Go hunt enemy war machines, enemy chaff, and enemy lone wizards. They're just strength, toughness 3, 1 initiative. Sorry, 2 initiative of 5 attacks, but they're leadership 6. Just fly around and go harass the enemy. Bring them. Cold One Knights. 31 points a model. These knights are weapon skill 5, strength and toughness 4 because they're on a cold one. Initiative 5, leadership 9. Hand weapon, lances, heavy armor, and shield, so 3 up armor save. The mount is 2 more strength, 5 attacks. They're armor bane 1. The armored hide, so effectively they're barded. Close order, elven reflexes, fear, first charge, hatred. Yeah, all the basic stuff. Just a solid, thick combat knight unit. These are tougher than like Bretonnian knights because they're toughness 4. Other than Grail Knights, obviously. Yeah. Cold Knights seem like they're going to be pretty worth it again. 31 points isn't outside. Like, that's actually mid-range for the point cost of heavy cav these days. Like a Bretonnian Knight of the Realm is like 24 points. But this guy's got better weapon skill, better strength, better toughness, better initiative, better leadership. Is better stats all around the board. They're pretty comparable in stats to, like, say, a Grail Knight. The Grail Knight has 2 attacks per model. The mount isn't nearly as good on the Grail Knight. Now, the Grail Knight has other buffs, but the Grail Knight is also like 8 points more expensive. So yeah, this is probably a very appropriately point-costed knight unit, which I would use every time. Dark Riders. 16 points a model. Makes sense. They're light cav with elven stats and on horses. They come with cavalry spears and light armor. They can buy repeater crossbows for 2 points, which I would. They can buy shields for 1 point, which I probably would. 0 to 1 per 1,000 points in your army. May have the fire and flee special rule for 1 point per model, or scouts, or both for 1 point per model. I'd buy scouts every time. I had 2 units of these in a 2,000 point army with scouts. Elven reflexes, fast cav, hatred, open order, skirmishers, and swift. Oh, skirmishers and swift stride. Just like my Illyrian Reavers, they do not get reserve move. Interesting. That's really disappointing. Reserve move, we're seeing a lot of fast cav, except for some reason the elven ones. It allows them to make a move at the end of the shooting phase, so long as they didn't march that turn. Doomfire Warlocks, 22 points a model. Weapon skill 4, blitz skill 4, strength 4, toughness 3, initiative 5, 1 attack, leadership 8. On light cav, they have the Cursed Coven special rule, Dark Rune special rule, otherwise Elven Reflexes, Fast Cav, Hatred Hiles, Open Order, Poison Attacks, and Swift Stride. Cursed Coven, a unit of Doomfire Warlocks that is unit strength of 10 or more, and includes a Master, so that's the champion. Yeah, you pay 6 points to upgrade one of them to the Master, a champion. It may cast this spell as if it were a bound spell power level 2. If the unit has a Master but unit strength 9 or less, it's bound spell level 1, blah, blah, blah. Otherwise, you cast a spell at bound spell power level 0. And what is the spell? The spell they cast is a unit of Doomfire Warlocks knows a single spell chosen by the controlling player before the army is deployed. You may choose from Dark Magic, Demonology. Well, that's it. Dark Magic or Demonology. The fact that you can choose 22 points of model, so you can look at 116 points for a SWAT of 5. Do I even have any? I do. I have a single unit of 5. I feel like I need more. I like this unit. And then we have the Dark Runes special rule. This unit has a 5 aboard save against any wounds suffered that were caused by a non-magical enemy attack. Not bad. No save otherwise, but they're fast enough. I wish they had a reserve move as well. But poison attack, swift stride, they're fast. Fast cavalry special rule. The Cauldron of Blood is a heavy chariot that's 150 points upgrade for a death hag. It has a dragged along special rule, so basically it has to have a unit nearby it, and it uses the movement value of the unit nearby. Basically, the unit pushes it or drags it along with it. Frenzy, Hatred Hiles, Impact takes D6+1, which does have AP because it's a heavy chariot. Magic, Resistance 1, Murderous, Poison attacks. Ooh, and Terror. Terror is really good for not only just the regular Terror rules, but if you're in combat and you lose, and your unit is in base contact with one or more units with one or more models with Terror, you're effectively -1 leadership for your break tests, which is really, really strong. Blessings of Khaine. If engaged in combat, this model may cast a following bound spell with a power level of 2. It's an enchantment with a casting value of 9, range itself. Until the start... Wait a second. Well, that sucks. I haven't read the whole spell yet, so maybe I should read the whole spell before you make that. Okay, so until your next starter turn subphase, this model and every friendly death hag, unit of witch elves or unit of sister slaughter that is within its command range, which is 9, gains the following: Fury of Khaine gains a Furious Charge special rule, the Cleaving Blow special rule, which is called Strength of Khaine, or Blood of Khaine, 5 aboard against any wound suffered. Now that sounds really, really good, right? But there's a problem with this. It's an enchantment, which means you have to cast it in your conjuration phase, which is in the start of your turn. But it says even if you can get... My bad. You know what? The documents have watermarks all over them. And the watermark made it very difficult for me to see with my old eyes, apparently. I assumed it said you had to cast a spell while in close combat, which, like, that's dumb. You have to be already in combat at the start of your turn before you can cast it. That's not what it says. So ignore me. This is pretty good. Even if engaged in close combat, you can cast a spell, because typically spells you can't cast in close combat. This one you can. So at the start of your turn, you can buff up. You cast a spell in your conjuration subphase. It's casting value of 9, power level 2 because it's a bound spell. So you roll 2d6, add 2. You need to reach 9, so you got to show 7 on the dice. Until your next starter turn subphase, this model and every friendly death hag, unit of witch elves, or unit of sister slaughter within a command range gain Furious Charge, Cleaving Blow, which is effectively Killing Blow, but only does 1 wound, and 5 aboard. It's really, 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 really good. Ignore me. That was just me misreading. Okay. 150 point. I think the character was like 70, so you're looking at 220, 225 points. Yeah, I dig it. I don't have one. Got to get one. Scourge Runner Chariots. I also don't have any of these. These are light chariots. Strength toughness 4 with 4 wounds. They're only 85 points a model. Impact takes D6. Open order. Sea Dragon Cloak's great. Armor value 5. So effectively 4-up armor save because of Sea Dragon Cloak. And it shoots a Ravager Harpoon, range 24, strength 6, AP 3. Multiple wounds D3 and Ponderous. This is bad. Again. I've never seen anybody assemble a Scourge Runner Chariot. The kit also makes the Cold Runner Chariot, and that's what everybody assembles. The big crossbow is Ponderous, so boo. Ponderous says if you move, you're -2 to shoot. So it's plus skill 4. If you move, you're hitting on 6s. If you move and it's over half range, you're hitting on 7s. Forget this thing, it's useless. Am I missing something? Cumbersome? So it means you can never stand and shoot with it. Multiple wounds D3. It's just a mobile bolt thrower that doesn't have repeater. Unit size 1 to 4. No, not seeing it. The kit also makes a Cold 1 Chariot, which is 125 points. So 40 points more. Gets you Strength and Toughness 5 instead of Strength and Toughness 4. Amazing. Toughness 5 is damn good. Gets you 2 Cold ones, which gives you 4 more Strength 4 attacks. Cav Spears on the Charioteers. It has a 4-up armor save. It's a heavy chariot, so it's D6 plus 1 impact attacks of AP. It has stupidity, though. But yeah, this thing seems worth it all day long. 125 points for toughness 5. The Blood Rack Shrine is a 75-point unit. Sorry, 175-point unit. It is also strength and toughness 5 with 5 wounds. It's a heavy chariot on the big base, 60 by 100. Close order, dragged along, so it has to be dragged along, so it has to be moved by a unit nearby. Frenzy. Hatred Hiles, impact hits, D6 plus 1, but it's heavy, so good. Large target, magic resistance -1, murderous poison, stony stare, and terror. I love seeing terror. Stony stare. At the start of each combat phase, enemy models in base contact with this model must make an initiative test. If the test has failed, they suffer D3 plus 2, D3 strength 2 hits with no armor saves permitted. Ward and regeneration are fine. That's not that great. Because rules as written, as it stands, a unit that charges in gets its initiative bonus for this test. If you charge them, then whatever, they don't care. But you're probably going to charge them. It's only D3 strength 2 hits in the armor saves. Like, it's a cool extra rule. You don't bring this model for the Stony Stare rule. Otherwise, we have Petrifying Gaze. It is a range attack with 18 inches at strength 2. Magical attacks that does D3 wounds. When making a wound roll for this attack, substitute the target's toughness with his initiative. Okay. No armor save is permitted against wounds caused by the Petrifying Gaze. Ward and regeneration will be taken as normal. Okay. It's a bonus little thing, but mostly this thing is for charging. The Blood Rack Medusa that rides it has strength 4 and a spear, so 3 more weapon skill 5, strength 5 attacks in the first round of combat, plus impact attacks. Yeah, it's just a better chariot with a little bit of shooting attacks. The Black Dragon as a mount for your big characters, the Behemoth. So it has strength 7, 6 attacks at AP 2. It is effectively toughness 6 when it's a mount. It gives you plus 6 wounds, so you're basically a 9 wound character. Like I said, 280 points for this upgrade. It gives you fly 10. The dragon also hates high elves. It's a large target. It has D6 stomp attacks, swift stride, terror, all the good stuff. Dragonic scales counts as full plate armor. The Noxious Breath is strength 4 breath weapon. Until the start, there's a special rule for this one. Until the start of turn sub phase, every model in a unit that suffers 1 or more unsaved wounds from this weapons suffers a -1 modifier to its weapon skill characteristics to a minimum of 1. So until the start of turn. Okay. So why is that good? Until your next start of turn. So you fly towards a unit, you breathe on them. If you take any wounds, that unit is -1 weapon skill until your next turn. So it's only good if you throw your Noxious Breath on an enemy unit and that unit chooses to charge on its turn. So that rule is not spectacular, but it's not meaningless. But also, no armor saves are permitted against wounds. What? No armor saves are permitted against wounds caused by this weapon. Okay, it's a strength 4 breath weapon attack that no armor saves are allowed against. Noxious Breath. Best Dragon's Breath so far I've seen. All right, the Manticore. It gives you +1 toughness. So effectively, your toughness 4. Plus 4 wounds. So I think you had like 2 wounds on the Beastmaster, so you probably need 6 wounds. 6 wounds, toughness 4, plus 130 points. This is about a 200-point monster with the Beastmaster riding it. Fly 9, stomp attacks D3. It's not a behemoth, so no AP on its stomp attacks. It's got the Willful, Beast, and Terror special rule. It's 4 strength fire attacks or AP2. In combat, it have a venomous tail. It makes 1 attack that's poison and strikes first. Okay, Willful Beast special rule. During the starter turn subphase of each of his turns, this model must make a leadership test using his own unmodified leadership. If the test is leadership 9, if the test is passed, the rider is able to keep control of the mount. If, however, the test has failed, the rider has lost control of their mount and becomes subject to frenzy. Oh, the mount becomes subject to frenzy, so the rider does not get the +1 attack. Okay, so must charge. So you got to keep this thing under control. It's going to put you in a bad spot. Awesome model. Rule-wise, this thing is not necessary. But it is a 200-point monster that flies. That's actually pretty cheap. It's 130 points to the Manticore, and the Beastmaster that's going to ride it is like 70 points. The War Hydra is a 200-point behemoth. Movement 6, strength toughness 5, 5 wounds, only 2 attacks, leadership 6, but also has 2 Beastmaster handlers, which are leadership 8. Close order, extra attacks, immune psychology, monster handlers, regeneration of 5+, stomp attacks D3, and terror. It's 2 strength fire attacks or AP2. It has a Serrated Moth special rule, which is strength 5, armor bane 1, multiple wounds 2. In combat, this model must make each attack granted by the extra attacks remaining wounds. What? In combat, this model must make each attack granted by its extra attacks bracket remaining wounds special rule. Oh, okay, I understand. Where's it explaining it properly? Okay, it has a rule called extra attacks. Extra attacks is the rule where it's extra attacks X, extra attacks 3 extra attacks. This model has extra attacks remaining wounds. So I said he has 2 attacks. He actually unwounded has 7 attacks. He has extra attacks remaining wounds. He has 5 wounds. The extra attacks, the 5 attacks, are strength 5 AP nothing, armor bane, and then the 2 attacks from his hands. Those are always, the hands attacks are always there. Strength 5 AP2. Okay, that's kind of cool. He's 200 points. This guy is really good. The only thing the Manticore has better than this is the Manticore flies. But this thing moves 6. It's pretty fast. It has regeneration and immune psychology. Yeah, no, I love the War Hydra. All right, Blood Rack Medusa. Oh, okay. We talked about everything about this. So the Blood Rack Shrine has a Medusa on it. You can buy the Medusa separately. It's 85 points for Weapon Skill 5, Ballistic Skill 5, Strength Toughness 4, 4 wounds, Initiative 5, 3 attacks, Leadership 7. It has that Stony Stare special rule and the Petrifying Gaze special rule. Otherwise, Frenzy, Elven Reflexes, Fear, Magic is 1, Murderous. Yeah, just it's movement 7 and it goes on a 40 by 40 millimeter base. Pretty good. Charybdis. Okay, let's see if the Charybdis is finally going to be on the table. It's a behemoth, 195 points, big base, strength 7, toughness 5, 5 wounds, initiative 3, 5 attacks, leadership 7, but 2 Beastmaster handlers, making it leadership 8 effectively. You have the Abyssal Howl special rule, close order, immune psychology, monster handlers, stomp attacks D3 plus 1, and terror. Abyssal Howl. While within 6 of this model, enemy models suffer a -1 to their leadership characteristic of minimum of 2. I don't have to read any farther. That's enough to bring this model. So while within 6 of this model, enemy models suffer a -1 to their leadership characteristic to a minimum of 2. That I'm gonna order a Charybdis right now. No joke. I'm gonna turn this video off and order a Charybdis. That's how much I love leadership modifier stuff in this edition. Otherwise, its combat abilities: Cavalry's Maw weapon is Strength User, which is 7, AP 2, Armor Bane 1, and Killing Blow. So it fights really good. Also has Writhing Tentacles. Oh, wait, sorry. The Cavalry's Maw, the Strength 7 AP2 one. In combat, this model must make 1 of his attacks each turn with this weapon. Can you make more than 1? Otherwise, as Writhing Tentacles, it's Strength 7, AP 2, and Poison attacks. Don't get me wrong, both those weapons are damn good. But I guess you can only make one with the Cavernous Maw. Though, I think maybe there's an argument for making all your attacks with it. I don't know. Either way, Charybdis, 195 points of pure yum. Reaper Bolt Throwers, 85-point Bolt Throwers. Let me get the stats out for these things. Toughness 6 with 2 wounds, because, you know, that's what they are. Because Elves only put 2 crew on their machines. The Reaper Bolt Thrower, sorry, I keep saying Reaper, it's the Repeater. They used to be called Reaper for the Dark Elves, they're called Repeater now. Oh no! Interesting. It's still called the Reaper Bolt Thrower. Okay, the Reaper Bolt Thrower for equipment has a Repeater Bolt Thrower, which is just allows you to fire with 48-inch range, Strength 4 AP 1 attacks that are Armor Bane 1, Cumbersome, Move or Shoot, blah, 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 multiple shots, D3 plus 3. So 80 points, probably pretty worth. Let's talk about some Dark Elf magic items. The Executioner Axe is here. Yet again, it is a 70-point magic item. It is Strength User, AP 2, Killing Blow, Magical Attacks, and Strikes Last. When making a roll to wound, a wound roll of 2+ is always successful, regardless of target's toughness. You gotta put that on the I actually have a mall converter for this. You gotta put that on your master, who's always strikes first, or he has strikes first. So he just strikes at initiative. That always wounds on 2s at AP 2 with Killing Blow. I like it. It's expensive. I like it. Is the Sword of Ruin any good? It is a 65-point magic weapon. It is Strength User with magical attacks. No armor. Oh! No armor, ward, or regeneration saves are permitted against wounds caused by the Sword of Ruin. No saves of any kind allowed. Got a wound though. Life Taker. It is a crossbow, Strength 3, AP 1. Oh, sorry, it's like basically a repeater crossbow. Armor Bane 1, magical attacks, multiple shots, D3 plus 1, and they're poison. What else we got? Anything else interesting? Oh, Shield of Grond. I recognize that. 40 points. Oh, okay. Shield of Grond's pretty good. It counts as a shield. Go figure. In addition, all attacks directed against the bearer suffer a -1 modifier to their strength characteristic. That's an awesome item. The Blood Armor is here. Gives you armor value of 5+. For each unsaved wound the bearer inflicts, the armor value is improved by 1 to a maximum of 2+. That's also good. You're going to strike first. Any character wearing that, you're probably going to gain a little more armor out of it right away. The Pendant of Kelith is here again. Gives the bearer a 5 ward save. Any wounds suffered that were caused by attack with a strength 4 or lower. Wait. No, sorry. I'm reading all kinds of dumb again because of the watermarks. The Pendant of Kelith gives the bearer a 5+ ward save against any wounds suffered that were caused by an attack with a strength 4 or lower. And a 4+ ward save against any wounds that were suffered by an attack with a strength 5 or higher. That's not terrible. It is now not aggressively overpowered. You can buy 15 points for Pearls of Infinite Bleakness for Immune Psychology. The Banner of Nagaroth. Unit carrying the Banner of Nagaroth gains Stubborn. Cool. In addition, when calculating combat result, +1 to your combat result. For 65 points? I don't know about that. The Banner of Harganeth. We use that quite a bit, right? A unit carrying the Banner of Harganeth improves their armor-piercing characteristic by 1. That's amazing. Can you buy a magic banner for a big old block of crossbowsmen? I believe that you can. Not that that's the best place to put it. I'd put it on some fighting unit for sure. Oh, that could make Blackguard even better. Or tip them over the scales to good. Why can't I find them? City Guard. Yeah, you can buy a banner. Okay, so pretty much everybody can use. That's an amazing, for my style of play, I think it's an amazing banner. That to me is one of them true auto includes. Let's see what else we want to look at. Focus Familiar, single use. It's an arcane item. The owner of the Focus Familiar may use when attempting to cast a spell. Place a marker within 12 of the owner. You place a marker within, okay. It's how it operated pretty similarly in the past. You place a marker within 12 of your character, you draw line of sight and range from that. Actually, that's actually good. Hold on, let's read that again. Single use, it is single use. It is common, so you can buy more than one of them. They're 10 points apiece. The owner of the focus familiar may use it when attempting to cast a spell. Place the marker, such as a familiar model, completely within 12 inches of the owner. The range and all effects of a spell are measured from the marker rather than from the owner. If the spell requires line of sight, this is determined from the marker, which has 360-degree line of it. That's an auto-include. Whatever your plan is, buy one of these for your wizard in case you have to buff or hex something behind you at bare minimum. Or that vortex we talked about that's really long range, use that at 12 inches of the range. This thing is amazing. You can buy a Tome of Furion for 15 points and get plus one more spell they normally can have. Okay, so I didn't go through all the magic items. I went through just a handful of them. Magic items seem solid for the Dark Elves. My only apprehension is I hope that Blackguard are usable. They're definitely usable. I hope they're above average once I get some experience with them. Otherwise, everything else in this book seems damn good. And I definitely have to expand my Dark Elf army now.